Welcome back to the Compound Podcast. This is episode 177. 177 of the Compound Podcast presented by Parse Rum. Go to Benny's, go to your local liquor store, ask about Parse. I was at Wrigley. Of course, we get the Parse chance, but Bleacher Jeff left the stadium after the game and then tweeted a picture that he bought a bottle of Parse at the bar after the game, which we love to see. We love to see the people supporting Full Circle.
Ian, there was a tweet that you threw $100. You're leaving that part out. You threw $100 up to Bleacher Jeff attached to a ball. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to thank the left field bleachers for the support. And so I kind of wrote a note. It's like, thanks for the support all year. You know, you guys are the best in baseball. Enjoy the game on me. So that Bleacher Jeff, I threw it to Jeff so that he could get the section drinks and stuff.
I'm going to be honest. I think 100. I think 100's a little light. I don't know what you're making. I think
it doesn't start until next year, Dakota.
But he got a signing bonus per sources.
Listen,
I don't know.
I didn't know. Can I be really honest with you? I didn't know how expensive a beer was in the
probably
yard.
$10, $12. Man. It's probably $12 a beer.
How much is beer at Yankee Stadium, Tom?
Too much. I don't even buy it. It's not worth it.
It's legit like $12 a bear.
Yeah.
It's criminal how much I went to the Michigan State game this weekend. That's how much their beers are. They're like $10 a beer. So I imagine Yankee Stadium and Wrigley are even crazier.
That's pretty bananas amount of money for a beer.
That's how they make their money, man.
Yeah.
Think of how many people.
Did you see yesterday, Tom, there was 14 people at Yankee Stadium yesterday because it was a makeup game, like raining. I'm like, shit happens. And it was disgusting out, but the paid attendance was like 40,000 people. So it's like you get all of that, which is insane.
Yeah, you still get all the tickets.
It was like drizzling, and there were about 17 people there on a Monday afternoon. It was a fitting end to the Yankees' home schedule.
Were they officially eliminated by yesterday, or was yesterday when they officially got eliminated?
I believe they were officially eliminated.
Yankees fans ain't going to a game if there's no playoff implications. That's just the way it is.
Honestly, that would have been like one of the cooler games to go to as a fan. I feel like.
Oh yeah,
it would be like. I mean, you could get the best seats, and like you could hear a bunch of shit. Like Ian, I remember you talking back in 2020 when you guys were playing. Like you could hear guys talk in the dugout, like just having a conversation. Like I think that would have been pretty cool for a fan to, experience for the first time.
I would have gone and I tried to get as close to the on deck circle as possible and just try to watch Aaron Judge the whole time.
I remember that because Zack or Ian said that like they had like benches clear one time, and he goes, like guys just talk shit, but usually the other dugout can't hear them, and they're no one there, so they could hear everything. So it didn't end well.
Yeah. That was a lesson you had to learn early in 20. No chirps that were too aggressive.
Speaking of that, we just came back from Oakland, and the first night in Oakland, when I tell you, like we were sitting, Ian, you've been there, right? Like, the dugouts, they're small, like no guard or anything, but you're so far away. And like,
yep. We'll tell for the people in Oakland, it's massive. And the dugouts are super far away from home plate, and there's more foul territory there than anywhere in baseball. It like doesn't make any sense. And you walk down from the locker room, down a set of like cement stairs, and then you walk into the hot dog vendor who is making hot dogs and nacho cheese, and then you make a right and you go around the hot dog vendor, and then you pop out and you're in the crowd. The fans are on top of you, and then you keep walking and you go on the field into the dugout. Now the dugout is very far away from home plate. It's very, very small. There's no railing. There's 3 stairs that are open to the entire field, and a toilet and a bat rack, and that's it.
Could you imagine that place in the playoffs when you have to walk up and down the tunnel with, like, when I say, if you saw the video of Rendon, yoking that dude up from Oakland, like, they are on top of you. And so the first game when we played there was nobody there. Like, we were in the first pitch, we were like, in the dugout, guys were like, I mean, this is kind of like eerie. There's nobody here. And then I think the next 2 days there was more, I think more so for the Miggy's last time there, and then it was their last home series too. So the Sunday game, there was actually a decent amount of people there. And I mean, that fan base is wild. Like, they were banging the drum the whole game. They all started chanting, sell the team. Like, I love that place. Sneaky. Like, there's something about stop. We were all talking
only
about
person in history. Only person in history.
No, we were all talking in the dugout. I think that's top 3 surfaces that I've played on.
The picture you sent up in center field was sick too. You
sick. I think it's called Mount Davis for Al Davis, the Raiders owner.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I mean, dude, obviously it sucks, but there's something about that place. It's gritty as fuck. And Miggy
you
said,
want to be an A?
I was going to say, you're fluffing up the A's. Say, come get me. You're saying, come get me the A's right now.
Miggy said when they played there in the NLD or the ALDS, I think in 12 or 13 or 13 or 14, he said that was the scariest and craziest place he's ever played. I mean, I could see it's that. Fucking huge, bro.
I could see that place in the playoffs when they open it all up, like being super loud, super crazy, because it basically is a football stadium. But at the same time, you don't actually
like obviously I don't love it, but there's some grit to that place, bro. Which again, I think it's a tough situation over there, obviously, with everything that's going on. But I mean, the A's faithful, whatever they're called, like they were out in right field for 3 games, just their little section, like doing their thing for 27 outs for 9 innings, like passionate as shit. If they have a good
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm saying like if they have a good team and they are willing to, build up a team like that, like that place would be sick, bro. And we went back, we were talking about it one night after the game, like, oh man, like, could you imagine this place in the playoffs? And we all went back and watched when the Tigers played there. They had like a whiteout, and I mean, there was 50,000 people there, bro. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, we had one game there. It was the last game of the series, day game. It was like the minor league games where the kids come to the ballpark and they sing like SpongeBob SquarePants. Yeah, we have one of those there. I'm a fan of small dugouts, so I did like their dugout because everybody has to be close to each other and like you get to hear everybody's chatter. So I did like the small dugouts.
I do. There's something about the no railing too. I love that.
But he said he likes Oakland.
Yeah. I like the stadium, dude. The surface is incredible. Bro, that's such an
infielder's take. That's everywhere I've ever played. Guys would hate a field, no matter how cool the stadium was. They're like, if the surface is shit, I don't like it.
Yeah. Bro. Hey, you meet your new general manager?
I have not.
Another ex-Cubby, right?
Ex-Cubby, yeah.
Former Cubby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Greenberg went. Congrats to Jeff Greenberg for becoming the GM of the Detroit Tigers. He went to hockey for a year. So he left the Cubbies, went to hockey for a year with the Blackhawks. Got Bedard. We'll give him complete and total credit for getting Bedard. And then went and is hanging out with Scotty Harris now, helping out with the Tigers. So congrats to him. Awesome. He was with the Cubs for a long time and really good dude.
I feel like
also a Pittsburgh guy. Was that always a thing? But I feel like ever since like Theo, it's like the president of baseball ops basically runs everything. And then like the GM's like the second hand, like the right hand man to the president of baseball ops. Like I feel like really it's like obviously Scott Harris is running everything. And then like Greenberg's like his right hand man. I don't know when the switch became from like the GM to president of baseball operations, because you used to think of like the GM running all the baseball side, like Billy Beane's general manager of the Oakland A's, and like he was running the whole show. Mm-hmm. Now it's a little bit, the umbrella. I think because of the way the antitrust rules work in baseball, you can't advance or you can't go to another position unless there's like unless it's elevating. So your team can let you go, but they have to ask you permission. Like, hey, can we interview Jeff Greenberg? Now, obviously, Jeff Greenberg was in hockey. This doesn't apply, but can we interview Jeff Greenberg to be, an assistant general manager. He's already assistant general manager, and we want to keep him. No, you can't. But if they're like, hey, we want to interview Jeff Greenberg for a GM role, then it's like,
I did not know that.
When you go from team to team, you have to elevate your title. So that's part of the antitrust stuff that MLB has going on. But I think that's really probably where president of baseball ops came from, is like, well, this guy is a GM already, and we want to take him and put him in this role, so we have to elevate him to another position.
That's really smart. I actually did not know that was a thing, that you had to elevate if you like left for another team. Obviously, like if you get fired, you can go anywhere.
If you get fired, but if you're leaving to go and take another job.
Huh. Interesting. That's why you're our MLBPA guy.
Hey,
smart
spend
guy.
all the time on the calls. Could learn a thing or two. Hey, what else is going on in the baseball world that we should talk about? Tom, you want to yell about the Yankees? No, you're not allowed.
I want to start with the AL West, because the AL West is nuts.
Bananas out there. It's a jungle.
And I said it weeks ago. Right now, hang on, I'm pulling up the standings. Right now, the Mariners are out. They're a game and a half out. But there's a world where the Astros don't make the playoffs. That's crazy to me.
So last night, the Astros and Mariners played, right?
Yeah, and I think the Astros won again.
Verlander threw 8 innings.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fucking outrageous. I'll say it.
But they have 2 more games against each other, and if the Mariners win both, the Astros are out of the playoffs with 3 games left. And that's crazy, because I feel like they're a team that could win the whole thing.
And they have Arizona coming in for their last series.
Yeah, who needs to win too, which kind of helps you guys.
It's going to be a good series, I'm sure, for those guys. But who is playing? Is it the Mariners who are playing division games for like a week straight?
Yeah, they play the Rangers after the Astros for 4.
Isn't that's like?
That's awesome. That's what you want.
Yeah,
you want those matchups at the end of the year that determine.
You basically control all of it.
Yeah, which sucks in the end.
The Rangers are kind of doing it again, pulling away a little bit. They got a couple guys back too, right? They got a couple guys healthy and back.
I mean, I think they just won their 6th straight or something like that, right?
Yeah,
but they've gone on, I think, 2 or 3 separate losing streaks this year where they've lost like 7 and 8 in a row, and it's like, could you imagine if they just weathered that storm a little bit? It would be a much more comforting position.
Yeah.
There also is a way that both of them get in if things at Toronto go backwards. I mean, Toronto's got a game and a half advantage, and these teams are playing each other. So I bet you Toronto's feeling all right about their chances. But
Toronto's also got to play the Yankees, who, I mean, are eliminated, but, still have the firepower to beat them. And then they got to go play the Rays, who are still trying to win the AL East. It's sick. It's cool that it comes down to the last series, that like you control your own destiny, but it also kind of sucks in that like you lose 2 of 3 in the last series of the year. And it's like, that's why you missed the playoffs. They play 162 games.
Yep.
Like, that's tough.
There's going to be a lot of exciting games over the next week. Do you like the format that we're in now? So you have 3 wildcard teams. Obviously we're expanded from where we were. If this was 3-4 years ago, we're talking about only 2 teams making it in for these final spots. We don't play game 163 anymore. We're going to do tiebreakers if it comes down to it. Like, do you think that this format has made the last couple weeks or months of baseball more exciting? Tom hates change, so we're going to let Tom go last.
I think for sure, because the Mariners would be 3 games out right now of the Blue Jays and would basically have to like win out. You know what I mean? Like, obviously they're playing the Astros, but like, they'd be 3 back of the Blue Jays, who are the second wild card, and they'd be like, not looking great. But instead, they win these next 2 games, and they're in the wild card, and the Astros are out. I love it.
I think I totally agree. I think this is a way better. Although 163 was sick. Ian, I'm sorry. I know you guys had what was that, an 18?
Pretty toughie, yeah.
But no,
I think this format is way better. You just get, you get those last final games, those last series, and then you have a 3-game series, right?
Yeah, I think the concept of 163 was really cool for like a one day, like, holy shit, the season's all come down to like 160. Like how do we not figure this out over 162? We got to play one more. Cool concept. It didn't happen very often, but cool concept. But the practicality of what it does to your team to then, if you lose 160, if you win 163, you don't have to go to the wild card and you go to the division series and you're like, fuck yeah, we get a couple days. If you lose the game, now you have to go play a wild card team who's got a day off. You've just burned, you've played 162 hard to try to win, probably burned one of your best pitchers. Then you're burning your best dude in 163 because it's like, we win this game, we get straight to the division series, don't even have to play the wild card. Now you're on, you're number 2 or 3 guy for the wild card game. Just like not when the practicality of the format wasn't great. I think the 3-game set in baseball makes so much sense. Playing one game just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
That's really nice. And I think the fact that there's more teams in it and competing, like these last 2 wildcard spots in both divisions have been so fun to follow, and like people are engaged. There's more fan bases in it, like excited about it. I think that part. And like a week ago, Tom was charting out all the different scenarios that the Yankees could still make the playoffs. So like he was like, oh my God, we're only 6 games back. We're still in it. If we just win out and maybe go after Toronto as a fan base, like we could actually do this. And so like up till maybe yesterday, Tom thought the Yankees could still make the playoffs. So that's a nice thing, right, Tom?
Yep. Great.
Ian, how does the playoff picture, like who plays who? Like does the 1 and 2 seeds, are they automatically in the division round? I have not seen how the 6
the top 2 records of the division winners get a bye.
So Braves Dodgers will get a bye.
Dodgers get a bye.
Okay.
Then the last wild card team, so the last one in, which would be the 6th seed, plays the division winner that doesn't get the bye. So Milwaukee plays whoever is the last one in.
Could be you guys or the Diamondbacks.
Yeah. And then 4 plays 5 or the Marlins. Yeah. So
it's kind of crazy. 5. That kind of sucks for it has to be the division winners, correct? Obviously. Like what? The Rays have a better record than the Rangers, but if the Rays are in the wild card, they'll have to play in the wild card, not get a pass, which is kind of crazy because they're 7 games better than the Rangers, but they're going to have to go to a wild card. And
but the Twins will go to the and that was the whole point of the structure when we were talking about this and trying to figure it out when bargaining was, we have to make sure there's something that incentivizes teams to win the division and like as a reward for winning the division, because winning the division is such like that used to be the only thing that mattered. Like go in the division and have that banner and then figure out what the playoffs look like, but like go win the division because it's a big deal. And we didn't want a system. Nobody wanted a system where you win the division and then you just get thrown right into the playoffs. And it's like you could, because in baseball, it's not basketball where like a 1 plays an 8 and like that series is not, the one's not losing,
Well, except last year when the Heat won, but yes, you are correct. 99%.
That was the first time ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you just didn't want a situation where you play all year like that, and then the one goes in and has to play a 3-game set and gets bounced right away, and you're like, well, what did we do? What did we win 107 games for this year?
It does kind of
bounce right away.
It does stink though that it's very realistic that obviously the Twins already clinched the division, but like the Mariners or Astros could finish with a better record and miss the playoffs, and the Twins just happen to be in the AL Central and they're in the playoffs.
Yeah, which is something like if there is a realignment expansion and a realignment discussion, I'm sure that there'll be a big discussion on format and like what that looks like. But I just think winning your division is like you play those teams all the time. Like you win the division, like you get that. That's a cool thing, and it should be important.
It's just crazy that the Rays, if they win their last 5 games and like the Orioles win 4 of their last 5 or 6, the Rays could have 100 wins and be a wild card team. Like that's nuts.
Well, remember the year in a couple years ago in the West when San Fran had that, was it at 21? San Fran had that amazing run and won like 107. The Dodgers won 106 106 or 105.
Yeah.
And they played each other. Like, it was ridiculous. They played each other in the wild card or in the
Might have been
division.
the division. Yeah, I
The
think it was
division
division.
series, like right away. One of them had to play in the wild card, then they played each other.
Yeah, the Dodgers beat the Cardinals in the wild card, and then beat them in the
Yeah. And then they had to play them in the division series. It's just like,
Can we talk about the NL wild card now? It's crazy as well. Another battle.
also crazy. Similar situation. We got 5 teams in it.
I'd say the Phillies are pretty safe. I don't think they've officially clinched, but the Phillies, I think, just have to win one game and they clinch a playoff spot.
Dude, the Phillies.
Hang on, Zach. Hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on. Ian, who's the NL wild card brought to us by?
It's brought to us by
AG1.
AG1, Athletic Greens. Drink your greens.
just keep yelling AG1. All great athletes have one thing in common. They take care of their bodies. And that starts with optimizing whole body health. A lot of them also take AG1. AG1 is great for recovery before you guys didn't really catch on to that. AG1 is great for recovery before a workout or even after when you need a boost. Sometimes Dakota drinks his AG1s right before bed. Sometimes he drinks them right when he gets up. Sometimes he wakes up in the middle of the night and walks over and has a little AG1 blender right next to him. It's a comprehensive solution for what you need from your supplement routine. Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to Drink AG1. This is a little different. drinkag1.com/compound. drinkag1.com/compound today.
Zach, what were you saying about the Phillies?
The Phillies, they are doing it right. You know, like last year, last year went to the World Series, lost, obviously, whatever. And then this year, people were like, oh, you know, they didn't get out to a good start. Trey Turner didn't play well. And like, oh, they're just hung over from the World Series. Last year was a fluke, blah, blah, blah. They've been, I don't know if you could say under the radar. But I mean, it sucks because the Braves are in that division and they just won every game they played this year. So the Phillies don't really get that recognition, but like what they did, you know, kind of weathered the storm all year, and then the middle towards the end of the year just got hot and firing on all cylinders. It's like that is exactly in my opinion, the blueprint on what to do. If you could control, like Dakota, you know, I always say, like with Duke, like in basketball, I'm like, I don't want you going in there on like a 12-game winning streak because guess what? Odds are against you. You know.
You don't want to be 30-0 going into the NCAA tournament.
No, because guess what? You're going to lose. So, like, if you go through the hard times throughout the year, and then you get to October, and you're like, hey, let's ride. We've done this before.
Ian, if you guys can shoot the gap of just go ahead and let the Diamondbacks take the second wild card, they can take the Phillies, and then you guys can play the Brewers. Like, I'm not saying you'll beat the Brewers. I'm not trying to jinx you here. But I'm saying if you can shoot the gap right between the Marlins and D-backs and not have to face the Phillies in the wild card, I think you'd like that a little better. Phillies are a hot team. I would not want to see them in a 3-game set right now. Obviously, you'll take getting in any way you can. Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying.
6 games left. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna take it one day at a time.
You want to hear a number? God,
we're gonna play the game today.
That answer is like the answer you get when you're playing 2K, Madden, or the show when you have a creative player and it's like, all right, the manager wants to talk to you. Do you want to say A, B, or C?
You want to hear a disgusting stat?
Zach? Do it again tomorrow.
Yes.
Ian will love this stat because he's a big run differential guy. Maybe he won't love it. The Cubs are tied with the D-backs right now for the second wild card / third wild card. Marlins are a game back of them. The run differential for the Diamondbacks, -18. Run differential for the Marlins, -51. Run differential for the Cubbies, +101. That's crazy.
That's wild. And everybody's in the same boat.
And they're in the same spot. And then you got the Padres, 3 games below 500, 5.5 back at +90.
I was going to say they've got to be close to 100.
That's why run differential to me is such a weird, like, it just doesn't.
So weird, bro. I don't understand. Like, obviously you understand it, but if you lose, you lose. And if you win, you win. Doesn't matter if you win by 100, if you lose by 100.
Yeah, exactly.
Zack, they could hire you for the analytics department upstairs. I think they'd like that.
That's it. I mean, hey guys,
when you win,
lose,
you lose, boys. Roll
I mean, hey, why is that? Why is that even a stat besides something to talk about? It doesn't
mean
obviously,
anything.
I'm sure there are some correlations, but like you get blown out 10 times a year, it doesn't really matter. You still lose.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I'm with you, Zach. Ian
Fair point,
hates
Zach.
that, but
I did see a stat that like if we don't make the playoffs, it would be, depending on where the run differential lands, it would be like one of the highest run differentials to ever not make the playoffs.
Who's Steele tonight? Who's the next two? Carl tomorrow?
Steele, JMO, Stroman.
Steele, JMO, Stroman / Javier.
And then we would go
piggyback Javier.
Probably Hendricks, Wicks, or
back to Steele.
Wicks, Hendricks, Steele, something like that.
How many days off are there before the wild card?
Just one.
Oh,
just one. Yeah. So I think, there's a lot of different scenarios for those last couple games, depending on what's going on. But like, I think, no matter what this year, it's be pretty tough for it not to come down to 162. So it's not like you can rest somebody to line them up for a game.
I think
just win these next 5, and then you can call someone up for the last start.
And
rest some guys.
You guys finished in Milwaukee, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically a home game for you guys anyway, right?
Oh, you said it. You said it.
No.
Ooh. I mean, it really is.
That's sick for you guys. I'm saying like it would have been sick to play at home for if you guys need that obviously you need that last series, but it's not like you're going to somewhere. I mean, you guys travel anyway, but it's not
nice
like
that it's
It's not like you're going to Philly.
Yeah, it's like you're going to Miami or something where it's like fuck, like you don't really see
nice
many Cubs fans.
Yeah.
Like,
it's nice that it's close. I'm sure families and people will come up from Chicago, which is nice. For a couple of days.
There'll be 15,000 Cubs fans in that stadium.
Yeah, bro.
100%.
It's like 45,000. It's big, and like it's going to be loud. I mean, it's going to be.
I bet a third of them will be Cubs fans.
It's going to be a fun series. It always is. I mean, we've played such good games with them all year.
What's it like?
But you know what? We're gonna play hard today. We're gonna go out there and give it our best today, and then we'll worry about tomorrow after that.
Give us some insight and like what's going on in the locker room. Like, are guys like just excited? Like, it's got to be fun. Like, this has to be awesome.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, Zach? Like, I bet it's a blast.
It's either like guys don't talk about it because it kind of amps everybody up a little bit because it goes without being said, right? I mean, everybody knows what's at stake. Everybody, I don't want to say that you guys weren't really a team that anybody expected to be there, but like, it's so sick to be in that position. Yeah, like you guys were. What were you like? 12 games under 500.
6 weeks in. 6 weeks in, I did not expect you to be here. I'll be honest.
Right, and then you guys, you went on a run. You stayed hot. Usually, when I don't want to say when usually, but like teams go on a run and then they just completely come back down to earth. Like you guys, you have stayed up in everything throughout the year, and it's not like I don't know. I think you guys are in, as a fan, obviously, in such a sick position, like following you guys where, like I said, you're not, I don't want to say not supposed to be there, but nobody expects you to be there. And you guys played well for, 3/4 of the year. Like, I don't want to say house money, but it's sick. It's such a privilege to be in that position.
Yeah. I mean, I think the group's just pushing. Like everybody knows that we're good enough. Like everybody knows that we got the guys in the room to do it, and like everybody's just pushing. We got the same group pretty much that plays every day. Like we got the same group that plays every day. All the boys, it's late in the year. We got 6 left. Like we've been doing this for a long time. So like all the boys are taking care of their bodies, taking care of their shit, like just trying to be out there as healthy as possible, playing. Like everybody's playing hard as shit. It's like, you go through those stretches where you're not scoring runs or, you're playing like close games every day, and it's just like it's a grind. Like you're playing close games every day. Like everybody's like when you don't get the run in from second base, like in the second inning, like you're like fuck me, and then you're just hey, do it again. I'm gonna get another chance later in the game, and it's just all of that. Just every day is a pretty similar, like high pressure kind of like, okay, we're all doing whatever we can today to win, and that's been going on for us for 2 weeks, 3. I mean,
Right.
it was going on like heavy for us around the trade deadline, but like we were stomping teams and we were like on an absolute heater. And the last kind of 2 weeks, like it's been, close games, maybe more than that. I mean, we haven't been able to like come out of a game because we are either getting our dicks kicked in or like we're up 10 for, we had one this week. Before that, we hadn't had like for 4 weeks. So we've just been in close games all the time. Like think of that series in Detroit, Zach. Like we've been doing that for a month.
Yeah.
And so you're just in it all the time. Obviously bullpen's a little banged up. We've had some starters that are banged up. And so, we're just trying to piece it together and get through these last 6.
Those games that are hard on you, on your body and obviously mentally, you're done after the game. And it's like, first bus is like 45 minutes after a game. And then the next one's like an hour or something. You don't move for like 15 minutes out of your chair. You're just like, that was a fucking any close game. Not like even game 100, or 80. Like you're just like, holy fuck, dude, that was a mentally taxing game. And like you said, you've been in this position for a few weeks now. Like every game, it feels like is game 7. And like you have to be so mentally gassed, but also mentally strong where it's like, hey, bro, like we got to keep going. You got to keep going. You have a week left or whatever it is. And it's a lot, dude. It is a lot, let alone 162 game season.
Well, that's why it was probably nice last week. You had the one where you had the big lead, got our guy JY in there for a little base knock for you.
I mean, yeah, that was great. I mean, that was the first time. This is the first time we'd had one of those in, I'm not kidding you, a month. And it was just nice to, hey man, yep, we're good. Everybody's good. Let's
take a little breather.
Taking anything off, watch baseball. Like it's when you play every day and you don't ever get to watch baseball, because you're just in it. Like even when you get a couple innings, just like step away and watch like the game and get some perspective. Like it's very nice.
Crazy. It's funny. We were saying this recently as a team. We were like, when you can sit and watch a game at home and you just see like a play, like not routine, but like, wow, that was a sick play. You don't really appreciate it as much during the game. You're just like, okay, that's an out. We got one out. But like you sit back and you're like, wow, that was fucking sick. Like, and when you get that on the bench, when you can't go back in or whatever, you're not playing. It's like, wow, like he made that look really easy, or like, wow, like he got the guy over with 2 strikes, nasty matchup. Like that was fucking sick. And like you said, you have such an appreciation for it when you can kind of sit back, take a step and be like, wow, that's hard to do, but it made it look really easy.
But those are probably also awesome, those close games.
Oh, when you win, dude, they're the best.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that last series against Colorado, you guys are at home and like the fans are probably going nuts and you win a 1-run game, you win a 3, like you win 3 close games. And it's like, how big those games are. Like that probably makes it even cooler, especially at home in Wrigley, knowing how bad you need it.
It was really cool to finish off the season at Wrigley. Obviously we dropped 2 or 3 of the Pirates at the first part of that homestand. And we're grinding a little bit. We got kind of had a tough stretch when Arizona came in, beat us up, and then we go on the road, have a tough road trip, not what we wanted, and then we come home and the Pirates take 2 or 3 from us, and we're like, okay, and to go out, win 3 in a row, to go out and win 3 in a row, finish off the home season for us, home regular season, like that was a nice way to end it, and to get that 1-run win. Thank the fans, do the whole wave on the field thing. And that was nice. You don't want to lose that last game at home and then have them be all sad. Because then it's a sad, thanks guys. Sorry.
For sure.
You know what I want to talk about really quick?
Bruce Bolt.
Yes. That's exactly what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the best batting gloves in the game. Batting gloves that I wear with the bolt on them, the lightning bolt. They're called Bruce Bolts. I have 2 different colors. I have white with baby blue and an all baby blue pair. Best leather in the game. I just was actually hanging with, humble brag, I was hanging with a good friend, Johnny Lester. His kids are rocking the Bruce Bolts. Their team's baby blue, so he's rocking little kids, little Hudson and Walker rocking the baby blue Bruce Bolts.
It's so
I'm
sick.
pretty proud of that. Go to brucebolt.com brucebolt.us. That's brucebolt.us to pick up some batting gloves today. Maybe a little fall ball, maybe a little off-season training. brucebolt.us.
I still haven't used the baby blue golf glove. I don't want to get it dirty. I used the gold one, yesterday. But what'd you say?
I played with Danny and Lester yesterday, and Danny Mueller was rocking the baby blue Bruce Bolt.
It looks so nice. I want to keep it nice. I don't want to get it dirty. I use the other one. I like to keep that one fresh.
I'll get you another one.
Because I think of that blue one I was like, this is Ian's. Like, this is Ian's glove. It's his colors, and he's a Bruce Bolt guy.
Zack.
Oh, yep. I didn't know if you were gonna say it. So I'm not the host. Sorry. Go ahead. Hand up.
Zack, we're towards the end of the season here. Miggy's played 1 million games in the big leagues. Been there for 20 years. What do you got on last week of Miguel Cabrera?
It's kind of hard because like all year, every once a series on the road, it's like, oh, we have Miggy tribute, whatever, 10 minutes before the anthem, like everybody get out there. And like when I first came up, I was like, oh my God, this is so sick. And like it just gets sicker and sicker. Like watching what he's done, every team has a video for him, and then every hit he gets, he passes somebody. And I don't think we really had a chance to think about like, hey, this is truly the last 2 home series of his career. And we were on the road and we're like, holy shit, this is Miggy's last fight. This is Miggy's last this is Miggy's last that. And, having the off day yesterday to kind of, it's fun. Like, we're all like, man, like these next 6 games are going to be wild. Like obviously everybody's going to want to go to that last game, but I'm sure people are going to try to go to these next 5 before that. And every game, every at bat is going to feel like he's chasing 500 again. Every at bat's going to feel like he's chasing 3,000. And, like on the off day, you kind of almost had like a mental reset. Like, hey, this is obviously, we have 6 games left, but you're going to be able to watch something really special go on the next week. Like there's signs everywhere in Detroit. They're putting the special Tigers colors up for Miggy. And I don't think, he's done such a good job this year of really not making hit. Like he doesn't want any of the spotlight, like anytime he does, like he has the recognition. He's just like, yeah, thank you. Like anytime somebody tries to get him, a call at home plate, he's just like, no, here we go. Come on, let's keep it going. Like he's done such a good job where he just doesn't want it to make it about him. But we're all like, Miggy, this is literally about you.
Yeah.
And watching it for, parts of 3 years, it's just been so like he has been unbelievable every step of, everybody knew that it was kind of coming to an end the last however many years. We didn't know if it was gonna be the year before or this year. And when I say like he is the same guy every single day, like I had a reporter ask me, he's doing a story on, your favorite Miggy stories. And I was like, I don't know if I have one specifically, but like I've been sent up and down 100 times, but anytime that I walk into Comerica or anytime I walk into the stadium and he's there, he just has a smile, ear to ear, makes you feel like you're a part of the team, makes you feel like you're welcome. And he doesn't have to do that. Like he's done everything in this game you could do. And for him to just be a great teammate, and being out there for everybody, even if he's DHing and he's not, I don't want to say locked in, but you hit a homer or you get a hit 2 innings before and he's getting ready to hit, he'll make sure he's like, Shorty, that was sick, bro. Like, and it's just like, it goes a little bit, it goes a little bit longer with him, and being able to watch what's going to happen these next six days is just going to be truly incredible.
You got to be rooting so hard the last game of the season for him to get a hit so that they can pinch run for him to get him off the field.
Yeah, we're trying to get it out of AJ of what his plan is, and he won't spill the beans.
It's interesting because what do you do?
What do you do? Do you take him out?
If his first at bat, if he gets a knock, do you just yank him?
Well, that's what they did with Jeter.
Fans to see 6. Well, has he played the field all this year?
No.
Well, they did it with Jeter.
He has never played the field here.
No, bro. No.
I mean, you could play him at. You could play him at first and take him
That's
out in the 6th.
Right. Dude, it's and people were like, well, who's going to go in for him? You're going to be the pinch runner. You're going to be on TV forever.
I hope it's you. That's what. Remember with Jeter, he got at that hit at Fenway in like the second inning, and like
infield single.
Was Girardi was still there?
Yeah,
and like he was like, "What do you want to do?" And Jeter's like, "I'm good.
I'm done.
Let's
I'm
head
good,
on
bro.
one. Like I'm all right. I got my hit. Let's call it."
And I mean, it's tough because, but I know he passed Adrian Beltre this last week. He needs one more double to be like top. I don't know what it is, 15 or 17, and then he needs one more homer to be top 25. So we're telling Mickey, you got to start coming. You got to start coming unglued, bro. You got to start coming unglued.
That's just not his swing, though. It never.
No, it's not. It's not.
I've obviously never been around. Like, we're talking about Miguel Cabrera here. It's one of the best right-handed hitters of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Probably top 2-3 of our generation, right?
Yeah.
Him and Pujols and throw somebody else in there.
Trout. You could probably throw Trout in there already.
But yeah. But seeing teammates going through some of that stuff, like some of the last things, I got to watch Lackia's last year. His determination and excitement to like have a last team dinner. Like he was so excited to have like, hey man, this might be the last one of these that I can host. And like, he was like, get whatever you want. Get as many bottles of wine as you want. Like I'm paying, like this is maybe the last time I get to do this. Like those little things, that you kind of see as guys transition out of the game. Like it's unbelievable. And like, even sometimes when guys like they're going to be free agents and, this is maybe their last game, they're going to get to play at Wrigley after 5-6 years, or like those little things, they mean a lot. And like, it's a tough part of the year for guys to like have that, like, oh shit, like this is transition or that time. And like I think what the Reds did with Votto was awesome.
Yeah.
Like what
it's crazy. Like he's spent however many years, 15 years here, 16, 17 years here. And it's just like, boom, like,
16 years.
Yeah. Like, hey, you're done playing here, and it's like, what the fuck? What am I supposed to do?
I think
he's going to be around. He's going to be some sort. He'll just pop in, pop out. But I mean, he still does something every day where I'm like, I mean, whether it's guessing a pitch, what a guy's going to throw, and it's spot on. And like we were playing against the Angels last week or 2 weeks ago, and we're up 3-0 in the ninth inning, 3-0 or 3-1 in the ninth. They end up tying it, and with the runner on second, Miggy's leading off, and we're like, I mean, Miggy's getting this guy over no matter what. Like it's Miggy. Of course, first or second pitch, he hits a ball down the right field line, slugs it, and we're just like, what the like? How hard it is to do that as a righty against a guy throwing absolute bowling ball sinkers. Like, and this guy is just first or second pitch, like, yeah, I know, still got it. And it's like that guy was doing that every single day for 20 years with slug too, like mixing in a homer, mixing in 2 doubles
at that park.
Yeah, like what the fuck, man?
I'm looking at his stats right now. From 05 to 16, he hit over 300 every year except one. And even the 1 year he didn't hit over 300, he hit 37 homers and 127 ribbies. I was thinking, I don't know, like, the voters always think like defense and they think of everything. Do you think he's another unanimous Hall of Fame? He's got to be like 95%, right? Like,
there's going to be somebody who says like, oh, I know he's going to get in, so I'm going to vote for Johnny, whoever. But
like, I mean, 306, 3,168 hits, 510 homers, 1878 RBIs. Like, it's about as unanimous as it gets. Like, this guy's a Hall of Famer.
And he could have won back-to-back Triple Crowns, except the second year, Chris Davis hit like 50 homers or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I want to read you those back-to-back seasons. It was 12 and 13. In 2012, he hit 330 with 44 and 139. The next year, he hit 348 with 44 again and 137. And he didn't lead in homers or RBIs that year.
Bro, 30. How many? What did he hit? 348, you said?
348 that year. He that 11 to 13, he hit 344, 330, 348. That is so.
You know when a guy gets called up and they get like 2 hits or like 3 hits and like their numbers are obviously inflated on the scoreboard. You have like a 1 dot for like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
that's what his
that guy did that for fucking yeah, bro.
His whole career.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, I wonder. You know what I'm thinking about? How the Cardinals are going to do Wainwright's last, because like he's probably going to pitch one of those last 3 games against the Reds at home.
That's wild. Do you take him out after you have somebody
like,
secretly warming up in the tunnel? Like,
do you let him just throw like 1 inning? You know, he's got 200 wins.
He's got 200, right?
Do you let him? You know, is he going to want to throw like? He's a competitor. You might want to go out there.
I was going to say
6, 7 innings.
I think if you're a manager, you have to ask him like, "Hey, man, what do you want to do?"
Yeah, whatever he wants to do. And like, how do they take him out? Like, do they just take him out in huge standing O, or like, is Yachty hiding in the tunnel and Yachty just like full unit comes and takes him out? I don't know, but that'll be pretty cool to see.
They're gonna. I mean,
however they do,
because Pujols came to Yachty's right when they all walked off the field together.
They were playing together. Yeah, he was still on the team.
Yeah, Pujols. Yeah.
No, wasn't Pujols on the Dodgers?
Dude, he finished his career with St. Louis and he hit 700 pumps. What are we doing? We all right?
Lock it in. Remember
he played his last year. Played his last year in St. Louis and then got super hot in the second half and hit 1 million homers.
Oh, he hit 700 at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
By the way, speaking of another unanimous, like Albert Pujols has got to be unanimous.
100%.
I mean,
like that shouldn't, like, I don't care if you're like, like he's going to get in anyway. Like, no, like you need to vote for him.
You know what I heard in the outfield bleachers a couple of days ago, and I was like, oh my God.
What?
I turn around and there's 2 guys and they go, ERC. And I was like, yes. Gosh.
Real quick, is that a real story or did you make that up?
No. It's 100%.
Happened to me in LA too at Dodger Stadium. It happened to me after the anthem. Some guy is sitting next to our dugout.
Way.
I swear.
I don't believe Zack. I believe Ian.
I swear. I promise.
On Chop's life. On Chop's life.
Chop's
All
life.
right, I believe you.
Dude, and I was like, Omega Accounting Solutions. Yes. Dude, it was the best thing I've ever heard. But the Employee Retention Credit, ERC, is a government tax incentive that helps small businesses get back up to $26,000 per employee for overpayment of payroll taxes during the pandemic. If you were a business owner with 5 to 500 W-2 employees who continue to pay taxes and employ staff during the pandemic, you could recover up to $26,000. Don't miss out on your small business tax credit, even if you got a PPP loan. Call 800-643-CUBS or visit smallbizcashback.com/Cubs. That's smallbiz with the Z, cashback.com/Cubs for a free consultation. ERC. Is there, you got something, Dakota?
No, I was just chanting ERC with you.
Yeah.
No. I'm very excited for the last week of baseball. I think it's going to be a really good one. I don't know if you guys saw, last thing I just wanted to hit, that the Evan Longoria is still playing. He's in a playoff run with the Diamondbacks right now. Still looks unbelievable in a uniform. We just played him a bunch. Guy can wear a uniform. If you can build a baseball player, you just build a human being to play baseball. It's Evan Longoria. I remember he went to Long Beach, right? He's a Long Beach State guy. I remember like him playing in college and coming up and like being this absolute stud for Tampa. Unbelievable career. One of the coolest moments like early in my career was we went to Tampa in 17 and playing against him, being like, I'd used his glove in college. Like
one of the coolest things about this job was I got to meet him one time when we were out in Arizona. And I got to tell him he was one of the first players I ever got to see as like a huge prospect coming up, because he got drafted, I think 3rd or 4th overall by the Rays, came and played in Hudson Valley where I had season tickets as a kid for a week and looked like, I thought he was the greatest baseball player on earth at that point. He hit a ball he hit a ball that was still the furthest ball I've ever seen hit at any level anywhere. And I got to tell him that story and he was like, oh yeah, they were going to send me to Visalia in high A, but they were on the All-Star break. So I went there for a week. And it's crazy how something like one little thing like that could happen. And then that he became one, I felt similar to you, even though he's in the Yankees division, one of my favorite players from my entire childhood. And I think really underrated as a guy of that generation. Really, really, really talented.
And I think anybody, our age who hit right-handed at some point tried Evan Longoria's swing.
Yep.
Like such a sick move. Like it was him and Pujols and like those couple, Sheffield. Like there wasn't that many right-handed swings that you really wanted to like copy. He was one of them. And playing against him in Tampa, my first year, I was playing left field and he hit me this like hooked laser in the left center gap, and I made a diving catch, and I was like, holy shit, I just made a diving catch on Evan Longoria. That's just fucking unbelievable. And he's had an unbelievable career, but in at the Trop, they put a statue up of his that was 162, right? Game 162, last game of the year, where he hooked that ball right over the 315 sign at the iconic celebration. So super cool they did that for him. Didn't wait for him to retire. Like a cool moment for the organization. And for him, he's a legend there, and just really awesome to see. Do you want to get into the screen times?
Yep.
Screen times from Sloan. I love Sloan. I love toilet flushers. Sloan's got the best ones in the business. Sloan is the world's leading manufacturer of commercial plumbing systems, companies at the forefront of the green building movement, and provides smart, sustainable, and hygienic restroom solutions by manufacturing water-efficient products, including flushometers, faucets, sink systems, soap dispensers, and fixtures for commercial, industrial, and institutional markets worldwide. Visit sloan.com to learn more. Screen time from yesterday, right?
Yeah, thank God it's not Sunday. I almost reached double digits on Sunday.
No one's beating me.
I
100% 6 hours on the dot.
Fuck. 6:20.
5 hours on the dot.
Tom.
2 hours and 4 minutes.
That's just
being present. Just being present, hanging with your friends.
That's telling me you're locked in on a playoff race slash your golf game.
Yep.
What'd you shoot yesterday?
Shot 76.
Had to think about it. I got there being a couple of foot wedges in there.
76. I was playing pretty good. Didn't make a ton of long putts or any really, maybe one, but I was making a bunch of 5-footers. Hit it okay. Driver wasn't as good as I wanted, and I went bogey double to finish, and it hurt my soul. But it was a really fun time. Had a blast.
Love that. Zach, I talk you up to everyone I ever golf with.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
I still got you beaten Happ if you guys.
I'm going to be scared to golf because I haven't golfed in probably 2 months.
And I probably won't do that at all next week.
I was having some driver issues, so I'm pretty scared to get back out there.
I just want to say really quick, this is the last pod of the regular season. It's been a great season. Thank you, Tom, for always making time. I know the schedule's been tough. I know we record sometimes at midnight Eastern. We're finding time, been grinding it out through the year, and it's been a fun season. I'm looking forward to the postseason pod next week. We'll keep this thing rolling, but thank you to everybody for listening throughout the season. That's episode 177 of the Compound Podcast. See you next week.